Well, howdy, folks. How you all doing? And you're all good. My name is Minzy, and normally I'll be in a shirt and tie, but you know what? For once, I'll just wear the fucking Chelsea shirt. Because for once, I'm beaming. I'm beaming with pride after that exhausting marathon of 4 hours and 40 fucking minutes of football, man. Howdy, folks. Just arrived back to Manchester today, and we are through to the quarterfinals to play against Palmieras, who we have beaten before in the Club World Cup final back in 2022, but this time it's at more familiar grounds and familiar conditions for Palmeiras. It's almost like an away game. I mean, virtually every game against South American teams are going to be an away game with their vociferous support. But we'll be playing them on the 4th of July at the Philadelphia Stadium, where unfortunately I cannot be there because I've thoroughly enjoyed my time in the United States. I have to say, they've looked after me very well. The people of Charlotte with their lovely southern accents were greeting me and showing me their wonderful hospitality. I've got no complaints on that front. So thank you to the people of Charlotte and to the people of USA in general. You've really looked after me and my family and my friends very well, and we've really enjoyed our time there, except for the bloody game at the stadium. I'll come back to that in a bit. Let's start off on a lighter little touch. Lift, your app is absolute garbage. It's absolute bollocks. Can I not give a rider like a compliment of 5 stars out of 5 stars? There's a geezer who picked me up on the Lyft app. His name is Anthony. All I want to do is give Anthony a nice 5 star out of 5 star. Yeah, look, that's the geezer over there. He was a legend. He was an absolute decent individual. Yeah, I really enjoyed my time sitting in his car, yeah, and having a good conversation. Yeah, let me see. Like I pressed on like what was it? All issues. I try submit a feedback to the driver. All right. I don't want to do any of this. There was no unpleasant experience. There was no poor customer service. There was no poor unsafe driving. There was no poor unsafe conduct. I just want to give the geezer 5 star out of 5. Lift, sort yourself out, you wankers. Please, this guy is a legend, and I wish him all the best for his future endeavours, yeah? You know what? I'll just give him a tip instead, a little bit later than planned, yeah. But let me at least give him a bloody tip. Let me go on my email. Yeah, let's add a tip on. I'll give him a tip. I'll give him a tip of $3 because I'm a stingy bastard. Add tip. Yep, I've tipped him. I've tipped him $3 because 100% of the tips go straight to the driver. So, Anthony, you've got my $3. I just wish I can give you 5 stars out of 5 stars, mate. But oh well, that's the Lyft app for you, or maybe it's just me being technologically deficient to understand how review systems actually work. But howdy yo, my name's Minaz, and let's talk about the game today. Well, not today really, it was on Saturday, although you could be forgiven if it was on a Sunday as well, because that game was ridiculous. I'm sorry, that game was absolute nonsense of a fucking game. All right, and it would have been criminal. It would have been criminal had Benfica gone through. Oh, I'm sorry, but you lot definitely did not deserve to go through. Absolutely no way did you lot deserve to go through. You lot were atrocious. You lot were disgusting. Barking the bus. And you lot couldn't handle our midfield. We just kept pressing you. We had 20 shots on goal, yeah? 22 shots. We peppered you wankers, bruv. You peppered you wankers. You've only had a hatful of chances that I can remember. Your little penalty goal, which I'll get onto in a minute. That was a bloody fucking waste of a bloody decision, yeah? And you kind of played better after you went a man down in the first period of extra time, really. My God, I can't even remember what you lot did. I genuinely can't remember what you lot did. I remember somewhere in the middle of the second half, you had a shot that went wildly off target trying to chase an equaliser. But apart from that, you lot were shit. You lot were absolute donkey shit. You didn't do anything. I thought it would have been a close fought game, because I said, like, if this was 20 years ago, I would have been more confident that it would have been a scoreline of 4-1. But you know, I understand that this Chelsea team. I've got a long way to go. There's a lot of maturing to do. But it felt like a 4-1 game for Chelsea. It really did. It really did. That scoreline reflects Chelsea's dominance. I'm sorry. It really does. And I'm not one to really boast or, you know, show off Chelsea games. I've had to really keep my, you know, ego in check. But this game, I'm sorry, but Benfica were absolutely useless. I know, given the context that it's the Club World Cup and not the UEFA Champions League, like, I'd probably be seeing Angel Di Maria like 2-foot Malo Gusto in the face if this was the Champions League. It would be more gritty, it would be more nasty, it would be more reckless tackles left, right and centre. Like, Benfica will actually go for the jugular, whereas this one, I'm not saying they didn't go for the jugular, but, you know, they're like, why the fuck we're here, man? We've had an awful season. We didn't even win the Premier Division back in Portugal. You know, we got further than our rival Porto. We're like done and dusted. We couldn't give a flying fucking monkey's toss. You know what I mean? Like, they weren't really that forced. I mean, it would be nice to get the money in and get the transfer budget in for this summer transfer window for them, but that was the only real incentive for anyone really in this tournament. We all know that the South Americans want this more than Europeans. We all know that. We all know that. But hey, we're in this competition. We're playing off against each other. We might as well go for it. And to be fair to the Chelsea players, they actually did. We dominated these lot. We absolutely dominated the fuck out of this lot. Right, first half, bloody Cucurella was so unlucky, not once but twice. Number one, he turned that defender into a bloody swarmer again. Yeah, he nearly put it into the top right-hand corner, but for heroic defending on the goal line. And then he was set up very nicely. Was it by Cole Palmer? I'm not quite sure. I was so fucking mile high up in the stadium. I could have been on cannabis for all I care. But hey ho, he smashed it straight into the near post sort of area, and the goalkeeper made a good save, to be fair on him. Cole Palmer with a shot in the first half. That again, he tried to catch the keeper out in the near post. I don't know if we were watching training videos or something about this Benfica keeper, that he's weak on his near post, but so far in the first half he was pretty decent. He kept keeping us out. So that was another decent save. Should have been 1 or 2-0 up at half time, but ayo, Benfica survived 0-0. Second half gets underway, and then we have a free kick where Reece James, he's one of our own. He's one of our own. Reece James, El Capitan, our best right back for England. He's one of our own. Literally caught that goalkeeper smoking a joint. He must have been. He must have been. I was way up on the skyline. I saw what the goalkeeper did. He moved one step towards his left, and I knew as soon as that free kick was whipped in, I looked at his positioning and it was awful. I knew he was going to fuck it up. I knew he wasn't getting anywhere near that free kick. I knew it was going to hit the back of the net. What a free kick. What intelligence. What creativity. Fantastic, Mr. Fox. Mr. Reece James putting us 1-0 up. And from there, at that point, we were totally in control. Absolutely, totally in control. I had no fear of Benfica coming anywhere near into that game, except for that shot that went mile right. It was a good move on the right, but oh well, he fluffed his lines. And then this storm break. Let me tell you now, what a load of absolute donkey shit I've ever seen in my fucking lifetime. Alright? And the thing is, it's not as if it was a FIFA rule. This is a state law rule. It's the state law of North Carolina, where if you've got adverse weather conditions, you have to take the players off. Alright? So it's nothing that FIFA can do. It's an actual state law. So by law, we had to take cover too. Alright? And the thing was, the thing that really annoyed us all was that there was nothing. There was no announcement. It was just, stay out in the concourse, don't go back in, or there'll be consequences. Do you know what I mean? Like, at least, like, tell us, like, look, We've taken you off for safety reasons because, you know, thunderstorms, these lightnings are deadly. They've killed people in the past. So for your safety and the player's safety, please go inside and await further announcements. Or it could have just said, we don't know how long this storm will take. We need a 30-minute window where there's no storms and the players can come out. We don't know when that will be. They could have told us that and we would have been happier. How many times have I been on a London Underground train and the train driver goes, we're just stuck in a red signal, innit? We should be on our way shortly. There's a red signal up ahead. We've been here for 5 minutes, not sure what's going on, innit? We are the king of telling people we don't know what's going on. And we're happy with that. Just let us know. Just let us know. All right, because that's not easy. It's not easy on us fans because at the end of the day, we're not all in one location. We're not all playing our games in Charlotte. None of the knockout games are always going to be in Charlotte. We have to keep moving. The next game is in Philadelphia. All right, supporters had planes and whatnot to catch to go to Philadelphia. Some people had planes to catch to go back home, back to England again. You know, like, this is why people had to leave. This is why Benfica fans also had to leave. They probably had flights back to Portugal as well. It's not easy on us fans to be stuck all the way across the United States of America, wondering what's going to happen next. Are we going to catch our flight? Are we going to catch the last train? Are we going to catch everything? It's not commutable distances. Like, if you lose that flight journey, you're fucked. You're absolutely fucked. I know so many Chelsea fans that couldn't even come to the game because they were stuck in the storms that were brewing over this past few days on the East Coast. My poor old friend had to fork out £2,000 nearly just to travel from New York all the way to Charlotte because of adverse weather conditions. You know, he got absolutely fucked over. He absolutely got rogered. I was very fortunate that I was visiting my family in Atlanta and the storm wasn't that bad. I was able to grab a plane, go to Philadelphia and grab an evening flight from Philadelphia to Charlotte. So I was absolutely fine. All right, but not many fans, like my friend himself included, were lucky. Some other fans I know just sacked it off because they just couldn't get to Charlotte because of the storm or the excessive road conditions that you have to drive through. It's hard, and it's also tough on American supporters who support Chelsea because, you know, you don't get paid to support Chelsea and they live across other state lines. It's not like Europe, where in 3 hours in a different country. They take 3 or 4 hours just to get out of their state. You know, it's not easy. It's not easy for supporters, and it's not cheap, the transportation system either. It is difficult. It is very, very, very difficult for supporters. Yes, I do want to see the stadium more fuller, but it is what it is. Life costs. It's not easy. The tickets themselves were like nearly $200 to watch this bloody game between Chelsea and Benfica. It's not cheap. America's not a cheap country. It's not a bargain bucket country by any stretch of imagination. All right, but it is what it poignantly is, as they say. So anyway, we had to sit through 2 hours of not knowing what was going on, and then eventually, you know, I was about to leave. I was about to leave like 8 o'clock Eastern time. I was like, you know what, if they're not there, we're gonna go out into town and just get absolutely hammered and plastered off our fucking faces. But no, by the time it came to like 7:40ish, the players were warming up. We got told to go back into the stadium, and then, you know, they kicked off again. And then this referee, Slavko Vincic, I've got a lot of fucking criticisms for you, Sunshine. Every time the Benfica players fell over, you gave them a free kick. Blow into their face and they fall over, free kick. Little like tippy-tapper touch on the shoulder, fall over, free kick. Gentle nods and a shoulder barge, falling over Benfica players, free kick to Benfica. Everything was a fucking free kick to them. Everything was a fucking free kick to them, right? The free kick just before leading to that controversial penalty decision, that was not a free kick, bruv. That was a simple shoulder charge. Demiria falls over, fucking free kick. Disgraceful. But that penalty decision by VAR, what the fuck was that? Seriously, what the fuck was that? All right, I'm going to give a little demonstration. I'm not Cristiano Ronaldo. I can jump miles up in the air. But I'm going to do it with my hands down, and I'm going to do it with my hands up, yeah, trying to propel myself, yeah? Like, look, hands down, yeah? Not much of a jump. Now, let's try put my hands out. Little bit further, yeah? You have to put your hands down and hands up and then jump. You have to. It's the only way you can get yourself high up into the air. He wasn't even facing the fucking ball. The ball came from this direction. And his hands were like here. It's like if the ball was coming towards him and his hands were there, then fair enough. But the ball's coming from behind him. And his hands were still momentarily up in the air because of momentum. And it brushed his fingertips. And it got sent to the VAR room. The VAR told the referee to go check on the monitor. And he was happy to overturn his original decision and give a fucking penalty for that. Nonsense. Absolute fucking nonsense. I'm sorry. And then Angel Di Maria slots home the penalty for his last game for Benfica. Or what could have been an extra game for Benfica had they have gotten through. You know, and then laughing in Levi Colwill's face, giving him the old jibby jabber telling him off kind of send-off celebration, eh? That didn't go well for you, did it, Sunshine, you little dickhead? But it was a good penalty. You can't fault him for that. Sent Sanchez the wrong way, who dived a little bit early. No criticisms for him, really. But, no, it was a joke of a decision. Absolute joke of a decision. And then we go into extra time. And this is where I said Benfica were actually playing slightly better after they got their man sent off. But just before their man got sent off, there's another thing that happened whilst I was in that stadium. I was all the way up in the top deck getting absolutely spit roasted in the Atlanta sunshine. I got turned into a chicken vindaloo over there. And then they tell us we're closing the upper tier, go back down to the lower tier. I'm like, why are you telling us this now? You could have told us when you were stuck there for 2 hours on the concourse, like, go downstairs, you were closing this section off. Like, why are you telling us, like, in halfway through the first half period of extra time? I don't understand. I generally don't understand. But hey, we rush down, all the way down to lower tier. We get there. All right. Evidently, we got better seats now, so thanks for that. So we go off, watch it down, and then, yeah, we see Prestiani getting sent off for an awful challenge. Deserved second yellow. I didn't even know he had a first yellow card, to be honest. But hey, he got his second yellow. He got sent off. And then Benfica actually played slightly better, to be fair. They were getting in chances on the counter-attack. I think they had 2 shots on target back-to-back. And to be honest, even when Benfica were down to 10 men, it's tough because, you know, when the game has been suspended for 2 hours after Chelsea had been dominant, absolutely dominant up until that point, concentration can obviously go. Like, the Chelsea players were frustrated equally as the supporters, you know, at the end of the day. You know, they want to know what's going on. It's frustrating for them. It's frustrating for us. They just want to get on with it and crack on. And in the end, concentration can sometimes go. And usually when a team gets an equaliser, the momentum sifts to them. And I thought Benfica will win this game. I genuinely thought that was our last time in this competition. But hey, that red card, it propelled them. I don't know, it's strange. They suddenly decided to go for it. They suddenly started to play with a high line. They were parking the bus for so long, and then as soon as they went a man down, they went, fuck it. Let's take a leaf out of Ange Postecoglou's book and put our defensive line so far high up. And that's what actually helped. That's actually what helped us along in our favour. Second period, we win the ball high up. Caicedo, he shoots at the near post again, like all of our shots, and this one squirmed underneath the keeper. Nicolas Otamendi, God bless that guy from Manchester City. I thought he cleared it brilliantly on the goal line. But Nkunku being Nkunku, the man who wants to leave Chelsea, ended up blocking the clearance. He got it stuck under his feet, and fair play to him. He got back up from on the floor and he lifted it into the roof of the net. The forgotten man has scored the winner. All right. fair play to Nkunku. If you leave with my blessing, yeah. And then Pedro Neto has got the whole of the Bank of America Stadium to run into, slots it into the top left-hand corner. Brilliant finish from him. And then Cole Palmer releases Kieran Dewsbury-Hall, who was just onside, and he finishes off like a prime Lionel Messi. Give that man the Puskas, give that man the Ballon d'Or. Kieran Dewsbury-Hall, you are unofficially, the Ballon d'Or winner for 2025. And that was that, an exhausting marathon of a fucking game. 4 hours, 40 minutes, that's 3 fucking football matches long. But we got there. A game that started in UK Saturday, finished on a Sunday. And for us, it was too long. Too fucking long. But we got there. Everything kicked off after the 2-hour suspension delay. That needed a night out. That needed a night out of God knows what I drank. But hey, wonderful hangover for Sunday, and eventually came home in the early hours of Monday morning. So sadly, I'll be watching Chelsea versus Palmieras here in Manchester. Actually, I'm not in Manchester, I'm in Liverpool. Jesus Christ, I need to get out of my time zone differences. I'll be watching the game here in Liverpool, and then we shall see what happens. It's going to be a tough one. I think according to the way officiating went, I think they'll probably want Palmeiras fans to go through so they can get more money. So we shall see what happens. But Insha'Allah, I do believe that Chelsea will beat Palmeiras. And then after that, it's likely we're going to be playing Manchester City in the semi-finals. And let's see what happens if we get past Palmeiras. It's not going to be easy. South America, it's not the whole of South America. It's a team in South America coming up to familiar conditions. They've got their fans. They've got, like I said, familiar conditions, almost familiar territory. They'll be hungry. They'll be ravages. They'll be absolute monsters. But you know what? I believe in my little blue monsters a heck of a lot more. Inshallah, we'll beat the shit out of Palmeiras. It's not going to be easy, but inshallah, I think we can do it. My name is Minzy. Goodbye. God bless. God arrest you all. I took my fucking hat. Howdy and good night.